haven't much planned what to say here. Basically, this is a sort of like video diary. It's easier for me to just ramble than to write, so here it is. I want a record of this time and my meanderings and ramblings at the time because I expect that they're somewhat full of dross, but an interesting dross, a dross that might act to reveal something interesting about what it's like to go through what I seem to be experiencing. It's it still puts a sort of, what is it, like a self-conscious or embarrassed, nervous smile, but I'm like, it basically seems like I might have ended up brushing with the like classic Eastern Enlightenment idea. I was not intending that at all. I was investigating. The way I would have talked about it was like, I don't know, like psychology, narratives, sort of like how to improve metacognition. Much more of a sort of sciencey type approach relative to my, very uninformed understanding of how the Eastern philosophy, meditation, Buddhism stuff tends to go. But then I started having experiences, I started thinking about them, talking about them, and then I noticed this sort of uncanny resemblance to the little, like, folk knowledge of enlightenment, like the inner peace, the lack of attachment, the flow. So basically I'm full of ideas and connections and thoughts, and a lot of them are probably silly and wrong and uninformed. And I basically think that I should go read more about how enlightenment is supposed to go. I see some stuff in Bruce Lee that's like, I think I may not being as original as I am. One of the things I'm sort of thinking about is combining some of the advantages of both Eastern and Western enlightenments, like, like Roger Bacon and all that, the Western Enlightenment after the Renaissance, and, the Eastern Enlightenment, much older. It's interesting they both call them enlightenments. Anyway, I want to mine both of them, sort of get the best of both worlds, but maybe this is already what Bruce Lee was basically pointing at. I'm not sure. I'm also a little bit like, is this just what Yin Yang was talking about? Maybe Yin Yang was basically like already mixing the wisdom of the East and West, not because it was derived from the West, but because it was independently derived and encapsulated in this more complete symbol of yin and yang. It already accounts for the sort of types of cognitive strategies associated with the Western Enlightenment. So I may be unoriginal. I'm definitely ignorant. I don't want to go read and look at these things first, because presumably they will correct my misperceptions and so forth, and I think that those expressed misperceptions may be somehow valuable to go through at some point and be like, well, this was wrong and ignorant, but look at the shape, the specific type of wrongness and ignorance. Maybe there is, something to learn. If I'm going through this process live, I want to record what it's like, because I'm afraid that once it's over, I'll sort of forget a lot of what my prior experiences were like. If I heard that somebody had done, something like this, like a video diary, as they just started to go through some aspect of the Enlightenment process, I'd be very interested in it. That sounds like something interesting to me. Well, I'm just going to make it for myself, and I'll look at it. So that's basically the idea. I guess I'll just start a new video and start rambling on some of the connections that I expect to have. I'm playing pretty fast and loose. I think there's gold in there, but I don't expect to look back and feel I expect to be rather better informed and more precise in my connections and all that kind of polishing type stuff later on. But I think it's valuable to have this. I'd love to get all the unpublished Beatles songs that failed, and I totally expect that they would be worse. I've actually listened to some of these. Yeah, they weren't that good of songs. There's a reason they didn't publish them. But that's inspiring almost. It's wow. Apparently, the ability to generate high quality songs does not mean that you don't also generate poor songs. So, here are my poor songs, and if they're embarrassing, so be it. I hope that they'll be interesting for me to review at some point. So I'll start another video now.